Hey guys, it is Jocelyn Miller coming from Coefficient CrossFit again. If you're listening to this, you probably know the five of us. We have Pat, my husband, Coach Matt, Coach Amy, and Coach Joe. And we're here to talk to you about 24.1. It was announced today. If you watch Dave Castro announce it, then what are you saying, Pat? Oh,
24.1.
24.1. If you watched Dave Castro announce it, you watched him painfully write it on that chalkboard, but I'm going to read it out loud for you now. It is a 21-15-9 structure, but you are doing 21 3 times, as you're going to do 21 dumbbell snatches with just your, I was going to say right arm, but it doesn't matter, right or left. Then you're going to do 21 lateral burpees, which means you will be parallel to your dumbbell. You're going to burpee down, and then you're going to jump over that dumbbell. And then you'll do 21 burpees with your other arm, probably your left arm. If you did your right arm first, you have to do each arm. You'll continue that pattern with 15 and 9. So 15 snatches on one arm, 15 burpees, 15 snatches on the other, same with 9. The RX weight is prescribed as 35 pounds for ladies and 50 pounds for men. Pat, I was just wondering, why are you holding a dumbbell badge?
Comfortable with it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of nerdy, right? So this workout for me is all just about being best friends with the dumbbell. So I figured I'd start my relationship now and just get really comfortable with it. This is my friend 50. So that's the RX weight for the men. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about this workout because we've been doing a lot of work with dumbbells. If you're used to using 50 pounds, even if it's, maybe slightly on the heavier side, this is a workout that's just about grit, right? Can you hold on to the dumbbell? And with this rep scheme, I think physically most people can, right? So it's about how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to hold on to that dumbbell? Your grip is going to start getting really spicy towards the end of that first set into the 15s and the 9s. And so again, you just got to calm your mind down and be best friends. Treat the dumbbell with love and it'll treat you back.
Okay, put that down.
Don't hurt yourself.
Douche mode deactivated.
Amy, I have a question for you. I know historically when we've done opens together, 35 pounds is a weight for a dumbbell that you don't necessarily love. Can you give us a little perspective on that for you as an individual athlete? Do you think you'll game this so that you'll be more RX, or do you think you'll do the scaled version, which is a 20-pound dumbbell for ladies? And if you, whatever you pick, tell me why you would pick that.
So I am not generally an RX athlete during a regular class time, but for the open, I have always done the RX workouts, even if that means I only get 15 reps and that's my score for the whole 20-minute AMRAP or whatever it is. So I am going to RX this tomorrow, and I'm going to be slow and intentional with my movements so that I don't end up messing up the shoulder that I'm trying to get healthy and strong again. So if I get to a point where it's just hurting, then I'll probably just stop and go with whatever score I have, because I like to challenge myself to do them all RX if I possibly can.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that mentality. Joe, do you have any thoughts on maybe somebody is okay with the weight, but they're slow at burpees? What would you tell them as their coach?
For burpees, I like Amy's idea of being slow and intentional. A way that we can kind of give ourselves a little bit of a slower pace, but keeping a regulated pace with those burpees is stepping back and stepping up, right? So it's a little bit slower of a movement pattern just because there's more movement involved, but it's going to force you to go a little bit slower. So if you have a hard time, if burpees are really just, they jack your heart rate through the roof and it's hard for you to control yourself, I would suggest slowing down with that step back and step up.
Okay. I like it.
I think that's what everyone, regardless of where you're at in like the performance spectrum here, this workout's really about controlling your mind and your heart rate. Because again, these movements on their own and individual reps, probably won't break most people.
I think you froze. You have to say what you said again.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I
Yes.
can't, but rewind.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good point too. I think for all athletes, regardless of where you are on the performance spectrum, this workout really comes down to, can you control your mind and can you control your heart rate? And so staying on top of those things is how you're going to get kind of the best potential for what your body is capable of doing on this given day. And so, a lot of people take that for granted, but there's a real intentional focus on, can I stay under control with your mind from racing and panicking like this is hard, this sucks, and that will have a direct impact on your heart rate too, right? If you can keep your heart rate under control, those burpees are going to feel a lot better at the end of the day, right? So easier said than done, I get that, but it's again, it comes down to that kind of grit thing that we work a lot on Mondays.
Yeah, and piggyback on the control thing, like you don't want to get no reps, because you want to make sure those both dumbbell heads hit the floor. Like you want to go fast, and you want to make sure hit the dumbbells on both heads on the floor. And when you're jumping over that dumbbell, you don't want to trip over it. So like you want to, like you're saying, be under control. You're gonna have adrenaline rush because you want to do well. The crowd's cheering you on, but you also want to be able to take your breath, control it, and do the movements precise as best, and keep it under control. Because once you start kind of getting that dumbbell all crazy, or you're doing burpees, and you start getting no reps, you can't afford no reps here.
Correct.
Now,
I'd like to, sorry, go ahead, Jocelyn.
I was wondering if, Matt, you could just talk me through a common no rep that could happen in this workout, since you.
Yeah. So there's several ones. You have to make sure your hand you're not holding the dumbbell is not either on your leg or on your side. It's got to be free from your body. And I watched the video, watching the games athletes, when they were coming down with that dumbbell, they were not really controlling it. They were kind of just bringing it down and hitting the ground with both heads, and then throwing it up versus, I tend to kind of like control it down, and I'm afraid like I'll tap two heads instead of hitting it at the same time. And then I know when I've jumped over barbells or dumbbells, my feet will get in the way and I'll trip over it. So like if you touch that dumbbell with your feet, that's a no rep. You've got to go back and do the burpee again, which sucks. So you don't want to have to like go back and redo another burpee. So you just got to make sure when you take off, like when you're coming up the burpee and you do that step and then you take off, you're jumping clear over that dumbbell.
Joe, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, my plan for this workout is to start all of my snatches on my weak side, my left side, so that when I fatigue in the middle of those rounds, and certainly later rounds of the workout, the end of my round is with my strong side, my right side. Because obviously, heart rate's going to continue to spike as we go through. You want to try and figure out the best way possible to give yourself every advantage. So start on the weak side. That's my left side. I'm going to start my snatches with my left side and then finish up with my right side.
Okay, on that note, I had a question and it's leaving my brain. You can tell it's late at night. Sorry, guys. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's all. We just wanted to give everyone a brief of, what's coming up for this workout. At the end of the day, these are just tips on how you can get the best out of yourself, but let's go have some fun. 24.1 is here, the first open workout at Coefficient CrossFit. We have a ton of people registered and it's just going to be a party. So do your best, leave it all out there, and we'll celebrate when we're done.
Yeah.
This is a good question for you, and it kind of goes into that. This took the elite athletes about 6 minutes. You have a great mind for considering how long this will take an average Coefficient CrossFitter to complete. Do you think this is a 15-minute workout, or will we have time to spare?
It's, I think a lot of people will finish in the time cap. It really depends. You're going to have a big spectrum of people, and it depends how hard that dumbbell is for you. If you're an athlete that's usually not RX, but you're going to push yourself, like you might slow down a lot on those snatches and you might get close to the time cap, which is totally fine. What's cool is that earlier this week we did, 12.1, which was 7 minutes of burpees, right? So everyone knows how long how many burpees they can do in 7 minutes. And a burpee takes about twice as long as a dumbbell snatch, right? So you can kind of back your way into the math on that, right? So I did 100 something burpees in 7 minutes. And so I'm definitely going to try to keep this workout under 10. But I don't know how it's going to feel. So we'll see what happens.
And I'm going to piggyback on that real quick. For me, like I would love to get under the 15 minutes. But for me, my goal is I'm going to try my best to go unbroken with the dumbbell snatches. I do not want to put those down. I know I can do it. Like I know it's going to suck, especially when you're like 15. You got, man, 6 more left. That's like a goal. Each of these workouts, I always kind of figure out, like, what's a good goal that I can set that I can feel good about accomplishing. And I think here I'm not going to put that dumbbell down. It's gonna go the entire time, and then definitely under 15 minutes.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So unbroken, under 15 minutes. Those are good goals. And if you guys are listening to this and you're like, look, I just started CrossFit in September when you opened and I have no idea what goal I should have for this workout, please text me and I will help you figure that out. Or Joe, or Matt, or Pat.
Absolutely.
Or Amy.
But also, I want to add something to that. When I started CrossFit, one of my first coaches said to me about the Open is that it's just another workout. Don't put extra pressure on yourself. Look at it like any other workout, any other day. Do your best and don't stress about it. Just go have fun.
Yeah.
Next to your friends and then cheering your friends on while you hold a beer because you're already done. That's the best.
Yeah, this is no different than the workouts that we have been doing every Friday since the second week of December. It's just another workout. We've had, I don't know how many weeks that is, plenty of experience with open workouts. Like Pat said, we did 7 minutes of burpees on Tuesday. We did some more burpees on Wednesday. You guys know what burpees feel like. This is a relatively manageable weight for a lot of people. And as Pat said earlier, it's about controlling your mind in the moment so that you stay focused on what you're doing and not worrying about what you are going to be doing.
Yep.
So stay focused on your movements, control yourself the way you know that you can. Remember the little tips and tricks that we talked about, and you're going to be fine. It's just another workout.
Yeah.
Great.
Woo! All right.
Let's do this.
We've talked long enough. Have a great night, guys. See you tomorrow. Friday Night Lights begins March 1st at Coefficient CrossFit. See you at 5:30.
5:30.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.